All right, guys. Welcome back to everybody's favorite version of the Bucher's Backup Boys Fantasy Baseball Podcast. This is the week of draft day, and I am joined, as always, by Griffin.
What's up? How's it going? I feel like this is like the worst pod to be on.
Now,
This is the one right before the draft.
this gives everybody their ammo for the year. If everybody remembers last year, we're doing our power ranks, by the way. I didn't say that yet. But we're doing power ranks, and I have mine. Griffin's got his. We also have Kyle's because he couldn't be here, and we have Raymond's too. So we have four sets of power rankings. We'll go down. They are all pretty different. But Griffin, before we start, it is ammo. I look back at last year. I think I said comfortably that only two teams couldn't win, and it was Brad and New Nick, and Brad finished in the money. It was actually really good. So
But you didn't win.
he didn't win, but I thought Brad was like below everybody else. Like I thought he was at the bottom of the tiers. So use Brad as your motivation, guys. If we rank you low, if we rank you high, it means you're going to be good.
Unless you're Roman.
Yeah, Roman's another one that I miss on a lot, historically at least. Uh, the very first year we did these, Charlie was the best of that because Charlie just said Roman will be last because he was last the year before and didn't look at his team. And Roman ended up finishing, I think, second or third to last. So
Yeah, I remember we were like, this is actually a pretty good team, and then
Charlie knew.
damn.
But what we're going to do is we'll have Griffin will reveal. You want to start from bottom to top? I feel like that's a more fun way to do it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then as
Um,
he's doing that, he's going to read, since we have, like I said, Kyle and Raymond too, we'll give you each of our takes, and then I'll read Kyle's, and you'll read Raymond's.
well, I
And
guess first you want to do the trade that came through.
which trade has come through since last pod, sorry.
Uh, what it was Jack traded Andrew Abbott
Oh,
for
yes.
Mark Missigman's Ramon Laureano
Yes, I forgot about that. Thank you.
on my birthday.
Well, what a happy birthday for you it was, right? I mean, you love seeing those guys trade places.
It was a nice surprise.
Did you feel like one of them was a better surprise than the other?
I feel like it's completely even. Like, I think if you look at ADP, both are around 220 maybe, both are at the minimum. I think it's totally fair.
Yeah, I wish I had a better take because, like you said, I think the week they made it, I looked like the day of, and over that week before that, Loriano was going either two spots before or two spots after Abbott, like that week. So I don't know. I don't really think it's that different. It makes sense, I think, because Mark probably needs pitching more. I probably in a vacuum slightly prefer Loriano, but I don't know.
I think it's a true win-win. Like,
It
Jack, I
is.
think always has too much pitching, so
Yeah, I agree.
win-win.
Good trade, guys. Neither of us feel strongly. But what we do feel strongly on is who's our 14th team. So Griffin, as our lovely guest, who in Griffin's power ranks is 14, and then I'll tell you who Raymond, or pardon me, who Kyle and I have, and you can tell me who Raymond's got.
All right, so I have four teams in my bottom tier, I'd say.
Okay.
And at 14, I have New Nick.
I also had New Nick, as did Kyle, and Kyle has some blurbs. Uh, Kyle, I think if we were to say anything about him, you guys know him pretty well. He's usually my digital guy, my good-looking better half for the pods here, but he also is the biggest Star Wars fan. So here is how he explained his ranking of Nick's team, new Nick's team, pardon me. Spend it all on the priciest names, dot, dot, dot. Then please rebuild. Anakin must slaughter younglings to purge this roster and claim the throne. Right now, it's more pod racer wreckage than Empire. The auction awaits, Nick. May your bid strike true, and may the cheap pitching be ever in your favor.
I like it.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we can get through it. Like,
Is that where Raymond had him too?
let me check. I'm pretty sure. Um,
Oh no, Raymond
oh
had.
no, he had someone else last.
Yeah,
He had
should
New
we
Nick at
say?
13.
Okay, yeah, let's say that he had him at 13.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess let's talk about him then. You tell me why you had him 14. I'll tell you why I had him. If it's anything different, we can move on.
I guess, I mean, there's not, you look at the team and there, I guess the best keeper I would say is Cam Slitler. Um, there's just not a lot of big name guys yet. I mean, Hunter Goodman, he
Yeah,
could
that's who
end
I
up
thought
being
was
like,
slightly better, but it's those two, I think.
yeah, it's just one catcher league. It's like, I don't know where Goodman goes, but I'd say, one of them. And then Caglione, you hope this year he takes that Nick Hurt step or becomes Vinny P. But outside of that, it's just not a lot yet. I mean, if you look at who he drafted last year, I don't have it up, but I know he got like $15 Michael Garcia, so hopefully he can do something like that again,
Yeah.
while also going after bigger name guys, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I think two of the top four or so hitters this year are shortstops that are out there. And last year, he's the guy who bought all the mid shortstops that ended up being some of them good. So like he had, I think, Pena and Bichette and at least one more, right? Volpe. So hopefully, maybe he just puts it on to Lindor or something this year. He has, I believe, the most money. Yeah, he's got. So I have down. He's keeping 10 players for $90. He has 270 remaining for 16 spots. So he's on the lower side of players being kept. I also, so I feel like maybe we should have said it before we started. So sorry, I'm going to go on a slight monologue here. I don't know what your ideology was, Griff. I think it's really hard. I think we both used a version of the Fangraphs calculator. I saw you post that for everybody. That was really nice of you to help them out. I put all the keepers in and tried to do a similar version of that. But then I also found myself not just trying to look at what they're worth, but also once I put everybody in and realized we have it's almost 200 keepers as a league. There's only, I think I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, this is gross. There's only 12 of the top 70 projected hitters in the entire fantasy landscape available, and there's only nine of the top 45 starters. So even though people have a lot of money, some people, there's only so many really good players that can go around. And as a result, I kind of penalize mentally people who are in the same tiers as far as do you have any real blue or red chip type players at both starter and hitter. And New Nick is just the bottom for me because even though he has a ton of money, and he has some players with good surplus value like Goodman and Schlittler, even though Schlittler's a little bit artificially low, I think, on the projections. Uh, I do feel for him because he is the only one of our teams that has no top 50 hitters by projections and none of our top 30 SPs. So even if he buys a couple, I think he definitely should. I think he's in a position to, like a few of the other teams, go out and definitely do that. Make them into trade trips, do something like that. But having no real blue or red chippers, I don't feel great about him for this year. Obviously, it's a situation where if you draft, let's say you draft Lindor and Soto, you can trade one of them for a Judge and Soto from two, or pardon me, you can trade both of them to get Corbin Carroll and something maybe.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is, so in general, as one of the other teams that has a lot of money, like I'm very biased. I hope that the teams with a lot of money don't go after the high end guys.
I'm just not sure who they will though. Otherwise,
So like I don't think it would be terrible if he got like a $17 Luis Robert. You know, like if the high end guys really do go for big bucks.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, besides
just
Soto, who's like the third ranked projected guy, there's no even top 20 hitters out there. There are guys who go in the top 20 of ADP for the NFBC leagues, but there's only four of the top 50 hitters, or pardon me, six of the top 50 hitters. Like they're going to go quick. So I guess if they don't get him, you're right. You should definitely pivot that way and get guys like Robert who are probably in the 70, 80, 90, 100 range. That's definitely what I would say too. I would just tell him my advice would be get at least whatever the best players you can is. Don't pay out the wazoo. Don't spend 150 on Lindor or something, but I would definitely prioritize getting a couple of the best hit players.
yeah, it's rough going into it because he's such a wild card with such an open roster, and
Well, I feel
we
like
don't.
that in some ways, I mean, sorry to interrupt you, but the
Mm,
advantage he has is since he's probably not trying to contend this year, if for some reason, like let's just say Trey Turner and Lindor are the two expensive guys who don't go for a ton, buy both. Just get, I mean, again, buy both shortstops if that ends up being the thing, because who cares if your roster's balanced with shortstops? Just amass
yeah,
the best value.
exactly. I agree with that. Only maybe one last thing, just one of his players. I really think Cam Schlittler's like injury risk is kind of overrated. I
I
keep hearing
agree.
about how like they keep talking about how his velo's increased like suddenly. And I'm like he went from the minors with the Yankees to the majors. There's a good chance they were like, don't throw 98
Yeah.
in the minors, like wait until you're in the big leagues. So I just feel like that might be kind of overrated.
His innings projections are crazy too. Like when looking at the surplus value for his players, Goodman was significantly the most valuable surplus guy. Schlittler's only projected to be worth $8 with the keepers inflated. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
So anyway, Nick, the path forward is right in front of you. Like Kyle said, the force is with you, hopefully. All
just
right. Who
grab
did
it.
you have at 13, Griff?
All right, let me scroll up. Wrong sheet. All right. Kind of surprising to me. 13th, I have Kyle.
You have Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay. I had Kyle at, I'm telling you where I had Kyle, right? Now who my 13 was? Yeah. I had Kyle
Yeah.
at 11, and
And Raymond had him 14th.
Kyle had Kyle at 5. Kyle's a big Kyle guy. Let me tell you what he thought about that in a Star Wars way. So Kyle said, no rush to win now. Being in the money is too easy anyway. Two first rounders, top four SP, James Wood, Seager, and a frenzy of $6 bats with powerful upside. Carbonite freeze activated. See you next year when I am basically Emperor Palpatine wearing the Green Goblin mask. So Kyle's Palpatine.
He's the
Probably a
bad
good
one,
pick
right?
for. So you had him 13. Why did you have him 13?
That's what my spreadsheet said. But I guess it's really just it comes down to how much money you think these top end guys are worth. Like I think in Kyle's head, Aaron Judge is like a 150, $160 guy. Um, and I think he's more of like a 120, 130 maybe. It's just hard to judge in the wink. And I'm kind of I've said biased. Um, but yeah, it's a top heavy team. We'll see who he can fill out around it, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy top heavy. It's weird. I mean, Kyle is, I have him at 11 because by the projection ranks, I probably similar stuff you were looking at. It had him 13 for me. But then when I look at the blue chippers and the red chippers, he has plenty of them, more than the majority of my even middling teams. So it felt weird putting him at the bottom or at the top. I just kind of split the difference, sort of where I'd want to be. I also tried to like as a tiebreaker for the exercise. I don't know if I did this last year, but I'm thinking about it generally, not how they're going to play their roster, like what I would do or what you would do or what Brad would do, what the same person would do with this team from today forward. Where would it finish on average? And for this year, I don't feel great about it. For next year, I feel pretty good about it because he'll definitely sell some of these big guys off. But I mean, having four of the top 50 bats, Judge number 2, Ramirez number 6, Wood number 28, Seager number 36, and then Yamamoto is at number 9 SP, which is probably a little bit low. I'd have him higher than 9 even. And Glass now's in the top 42. But like you just said, it's weird valuing them because Judge probably is a one. I think you hit that pretty accurately. Probably like a 120-ish, 130-ish. I know the projections only have him like 90 or something like that. So he looks like an overpay, and then Ramirez is especially an overpay at things. I think he is graded as the worst keeper in the league, which I just can't see being the case though, because Ramirez was out there, he's going to go over 100. Like, so the projections hate him for that. I also though couldn't get him much higher than this just because I think the average person. It'll be weird to see what he does for the auction because even though I like those guys in a vacuum, Judge Ramirez. I also obviously like Seager or James Wood in a vacuum. Adele's a big surplus. I don't know how he'll handle it though because it's not like he has $80 for the 17 spots he's filling. He has 40. Like he can only be a $2 to $3 on average bid for each of his spots. So if he buys like even one $10 player, then suddenly it's close to dollar days. Like it's going to be really interesting because I don't think he's going to be able to bid almost at all till close to the end. And he probably will never have the hammer, which is going to make it hard to even get the guys unless he's just really patient that he wants. I'm sure Kyle's done the math and is prepared to wait till the end to bid $2 on all the guys who are hurt, all the guys who are sleepers that we have missed. Uh, but he's going to have to be kind of flawless executing that to be much higher than where I have him at 11, I think.
So one thing I'll add is I quickly went back past 2 years of drafts. I'm looking at the third right now, but might be hard to talk into it.
I mean, if he gets
Last
Kurtz and Aranda and guys like that, who's going to care?
Yeah, so last year he got 11 $1 guys, and the year before that he did 10. So it just fit,
It's
playing
where
into
he's
his normal
comfortable.
strategy.
It's where he's comfortable.
He likes the dollar days, so
And I don't mind being on the more stars and scrub side too. I feel like this is hard. I don't feel like he's ever gone into the auction, even though he did, had you said 10, 11 the last 2 years. He didn't start out in that position. He bought some guys earlier on, I think. Like it's going to be interesting to see how he navigates it. But okay.
yeah.
So Kyle is divisive though. I mean, that's a pretty big range. We have him 13, 14. You said Raymond has him. So 14, 13, 11, and 5.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
also pretty funny, Kyle, like Kyle.
you got to rate yourself high, right?
I almost think though, especially like, and I'm not just saying it, if Kyle starts out hot in April and just decides to buy and try to finish in the money this year, it's not going to shock me. Like, I think he's probably more likely to finish fifth or 13th than he is 11th.
Yeah, I would say that. I
I
agree.
don't see him staying at like the area I ranked him. I kind of just split the difference.
No, he would completely sell off.
So who did you have at 12?
Um, 12th, I had Mark Misigman,
You had Miz. Okay. I had Miz at 10. Kyle had
and
Miz at 8.
Raymond had him 11th.
Okay, so we got a pretty decent deviation there too. Let me read you what Star Wars Kyle says about Mizzigman. So number 8 is Mizzigman for him. He's the high guy on him as well, it seems. He says needs elite SP to round out strong hitting. Relief pitcher edge is his secret weapon. Quietly, he will stack saves while others are scrambling. Lyle and Marseille are sneaky $6 keepers that could win leagues if they hit. But Ryan Nelson, calling him a Padawan would be generous. That one was a little bit less Star Warsy, besides the Padawan at the end. Interesting. Uh, but he's right. I mean, Ryan Nelson isn't someone I'm super excited about either. What had you put Miz at 12 though? Because I guess you're the lowest of us on him, albeit slightly.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple. I ran two things. One has uh 11th, one has 12th, but I mean overall, I guess it's just on paper you look at like Manny Machado by all
He's like
the
Ramirez.
projections are overrated or overpriced, but we don't know if that like really reflects our league right now, I'd say. Same with Riley Green, it probably has is barely surplus. Um,
Who? I'm sorry.
Riley Green.
Oh, Riley Green. Yeah.
And with how conservative this auction calculator is, it might even have him negative. So,
It actually, with inflation using ATC, I have it written down, has him as a $6 surplus.
okay, yeah. Um,
But it has Machado for what it's worth as a negative 21, even with all the keeper inflation in there.
so yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's good team, pretty well filled out, solid amount of money. I think I hate to say outside of New Nick, but like, this is in the range where it all depends on how the draft goes, really.
Yeah.
We'll
I
see
mean,
if he gets,
signs 6 Arondos and then buys a stud. He's going to be in a good spot. Like you said, he has more money than uh, like Kyle does by a good bit. He's not quite in the area New Nick's in, but you can average close to $10 a spot. You can probably afford to buy one better end player at least. He's also just everybody who has any relievers is going to get dinged artificially. I mean, but I think that's part of why, because I think I had him 12th initially too. But Diaz and Miller are either worth like way too much, or they're worth with saves and holds being credited equally, which is the only way we can do it. That I think is even sort of close. It has them being worth Miller as a $1 surplus and Diaz as a $1 negative, which just isn't right.
no,
It just isn't. So that made me artificially move him up. He also has some of those. He doesn't really have a blue chipper unless you think Catel's that. Cattell, it says, is the 17th best player or offense in the format, and Machado and Riley Green are both top 40 hitters. So you have a few top 50 hitters in there. You have no one as no one in the top 30 or so at starting pitcher, but Michael King is, I think it has him like in the early 30s, so he just misses. And then you have the two elite closers. So he's got some legitimately valuable pieces. He has some money to buy at least one close to stud, if not stud.
yeah, because what is his max bid is like 117.
I
So
think
with
that
that,
no, it's not quite that high. He has 126 for 13 spots. So yeah, I mean, you're not. I don't know why I'm even saying that. It's like 115 or 112 or something instead.
yeah, I don't, for some reason, I have like Fantrax draft room up, and yeah, it doesn't match with what I have, but yeah, like $120.
I think he might have someone. Does he have someone either as a? Oh, okay, I was gonna say I think it might not
No,
be counting guys who are in your NA slots, but never mind.
um,
I might
yeah,
just be wrong too. It's probably just wrong.
so yeah, we'll see if he gets a Harper. I know, we'll see who he ends up with.
Yeah, I think that's who he likes. We'll see if he gets him.
Yeah, well, I realized I said that, and then I didn't want to blow up his spot.
Well,
So
I'm him up
yeah,
then with you.
all right.
He should have been on the pod to tell us not to.
Instead of being in Houston.
But all right, so Who did you have then? If he was your 11, who was your 10? No, sorry, he was your 12, right?
Let me keep flipping between tabs.
I know, me too. Sorry.
Uh, 14, 13, 12.
So who
So,
was
now I'm
11?
to 11th, I have Brad.
I had Brad at 13, just like last year, which was Brad's good luck charm.
Raymond has him 10th.
And Kyle has him ninth. So
So we're pretty
people,
close.
well, yeah, we're all in the same
Yeah.
range as we're with Miz. But again, it's funny that I think besides a few of us had New Nick in the same spot. I don't think we've been really the same on anyone though. Uh, Kyle says for Brad, Neto and J Rod is strong core. Stewart and Perdomo solid. Still boring overall, despite blue chip top end guys, like watching paint dry on the Millennium Falcon. Still owes the league a beer for the early fiasco, so should be lower. Pay your debts. That's kind of true.
Real quick, do you know, is he going to be there Saturday? He is, right?
He should be.
Okay, good.
You better pay
Brad,
his debts.
pay up.
So,
Um,
what did you have down for Brad, though?
I like the team really. Like I think you have three studs. I'm a big Julio guy, I feel like. Cal Raleigh's Cal Raleigh and Matt Olson is a top tier first baseman. Um, Pitching, I don't know, but that's how pitching is, right?
Yeah.
Um, Basayo, I think Basayo hit 2 home runs today. I don't know if you saw that.
You knew
So
Brad needed it.
big. Um, I was kind of surprised he kept Westberg after the like how bad the injury turned out. Isn't he? Yeah, I guess he's going to be out through the end of April.
It's, I think, pretty up in the air. I think that's as soon as he can be back.
Yeah. So I mean, the only two things I don't know if I would have kept Cole and him, but I mean, Cole's back yesterday, so like it
Yeah.
changes daily.
Yeah. I think the reason I had Brad down at 13, because I guess I'm the low guy on him, although I don't think it's that different than like my 12, 11, 10, and even 9. Uh, he has definitely the most in that little range, besides, I guess, sort of Kyle. He's like a different version of Kyle, but he has some blue chip guys for sure. And he has some of them at real surpluses too. I mean, Julio, even though he's getting pricier, still 21 surplus. It says Neto's 25 surplus, Perdomo is 24 surplus. He just rallies a $30 surplus. It's just confusing and annoying, making it harder because he's spending like $100-ish on pitching, and I think it graded him out as exactly paying what should be paying because he's overpaying on most of his pitchers, it thinks. I don't know if that's definitely true. Like we said, I mean, the Kaka is just kind of a sobering thing, but it is kind of disappointing for me on that side that he's paying a decent amount of first pitchers and doesn't have any who are top 30 or even top 35. So one or two of them could end up being that. I'm not saying they definitely can't do that. And I like his guy, like Cole coming back healthy. Cole's throwing way harder than he did last time he was pitching. So it's not to be too negative about it either. It's just that Brad doesn't have a ton of money. He's kind of in the middle as far as money goes. So he's not probably adding anything blue chip to this. He's going to have more blue chips than the majority of the teams I have at the bottom. But I don't feel great about some of the guys on the fringes that you already named that he kept, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm looking at it, I did forget to mention Perdomo. I didn't mention Neto, who's like top two, almost, at worst 3 round pick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Julio is
Um,
the seventh ranked hitter. Riley is the 22nd ranked hitter. Neto is the 26th ranked hitter.
just because I don't want him screaming in his phone, like,
Yeah,
because
yeah. And
I forgot
Olson's
it.
in top 50s.
Um,
Like he has plenty of really good guys.
yeah. So now that I'm looking, I think this would be, I don't know. Is this a tier above Miz? I don't know.
Well, I
It's,
have him lower, so I don't think so.
yeah,
But I'm super sympathetic to the argument because again, I think it's sort of a tier, and I just am the most bearish, I guess, because he's keeping the most guys I wouldn't have kept of most of these teams. Is sort of where I landed.
yeah. I guess it's interesting though, because like out of the teams we've mentioned so far, he has the most top 60 hitters, right?
Uh,
Between Julio, Neto, Perdomo. That's where I'm like, I don't know if
Perdomo is not
Perdomo
ranked
is.
that way for our format. According
Um,
to projections, which again are
yeah.
banking the majority before he was good last year. So maybe he is that. I think he's around 75th.
But
Uh,
if you include him, he has 5 top 50, 60-ish hitters. With I mean, 4 of those being legitimately top 25 hitters,
yeah, but I mean,
right?
It's kind of like Kyle though, who I have right next to him. I mean, Judge is the second best. Ramirez is sixth best. Brad doesn't have anybody ranked in the top six at hitter. Kyle's got two of them. Then he also has Wood at
Seager and
28,
Wood.
Seager at 36. Adele's not. Adele is right by Perdomo, I believe. So they kind of have
Yeah.
the same thing going on. Brad's going to have more money. Uh, Kyle just has less mid guys hanging out with his studs and less money also. So I could totally see the argument for it. I just think if I was going to do this, I do kind of like pardon me, Kyle having only basically blue chip guys.
Yeah, I dig it.
But Brad could clean it up a lot in the auction. I'm probably going to end up ranking him higher after it because, like I said, like we both just said, he has close to $10 per spot for his final 10 spots. So he has much more flexibility to make it look better in 72 hours and over.
Yeah, and I don't think he's moving this year, so
Yeah, and if he is, he'll just get Garrett Cole and then he'll keep him because he'll like it.
he'll get Rodon this time.
So we've got about 10 minutes left. Let's move on and do at least one more here.
All right.
Brad, you said was your 11, correct?
Yep.
So who is your 10?
So at 10, I have Eric.
You have Eric, okay. I have Eric at 6. Kyle has Eric at 4.
And Raymond has him at 12.
Dude, Eric is all over the place. So me and Kyle are definitely higher. Kyle has him again at 4. I have him at 6. You've got him 10, and Raymond has him at, you said at 12?
Yeah.
Wow, we have that might be our widest deviation all over. Kyle was significant because he has himself in the top 5, and we all had him lower. But I mean, there's no one back to back here at all. Why do you have Eric at 10?
Hmm. Because that's what my spreadsheet says. There's really it has four teams pretty tightly bumped. Like actually five. Like this tier is pretty tight.
I think everybody from here on up until the top 4 is kind of the same.
Yeah. Um,
I just like Eric more than most other ones.
so what's actually interesting, well, I don't know. Do you want to give Kyle's blurb?
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me do the Kyle blurb. So here's why Eric is a top 4 team according to Jedi Kyle: elite pitching, blue chip hitters snagged at fair prices. Acuna and Devers duo terrifies opponents like Vader choking admirals. Jazz, Buxton, Montgomery upside thrills. Paredes is likely a cursed keeper. May the Schwartz be with him. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that speaks for itself.
So I get first, what's interesting is if you do fan tracks projections,
Well, he
like
has the
this,
most guys, I think, across all the categories. Isn't he projected to win?
yeah, it is him number one by a good bit. But
I
yeah, I mean it's
believe
because
I
he has
believe
the
it's
least
something
money.
projected, but me and Roman have 17 keepers. I think Eric is tied with someone or two other people next for 16. There's no one with less than 10, and there's no one with more than 17. But he just has every category covered, sort of.
And it's a lot of money spent
And he also, though,
with
we were talking about Kyle's situation. Eric, uh, $15 for 10 spots left. He literally has a max bid of 6, and if he spends 2 or 3 at first, he can't buy till the last round.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see what he does.
He pretty much has what he has. Like he's gonna now, if he lands in Nick Kurtz, he might just win the league. It's possible.
Yeah. What's interesting is like the spreadsheet has Devers as a $39 player, and I don't think that's right. Like it has
Keeping
Devers
Devers
as my
for 59, right?
yeah, he's keeping him
Yeah,
for
that's exactly what I
59,
have down. Is Devers is showing as a minus 20.
which I think is crazy.
I
Like
think it's like the
that's
Machado
clearly
one where, yeah, he'd go for, I think if he didn't go for 59, he'd go pretty close to it. I mean, if he was out there, he would be like the fourth or fifth best hitter and in the tier with like the couple right before him. It has him as the 30th ranked hitter. He's got, though, I mean, the reason I was okay getting him all the way up to 6, even though he's buying close to nothing in the auction, is like you said, he has some of every category already. The projections like him right now with what we have currently. But he also has 5 top 50-ish hitters by the projections. Devers is the 30th hitter. Yandy is, I'm cheating a little bit there because Yandy's 51, but just I like Yandy and Yandy's affordable. It's a good keeper for him. Jazz is the 33rd, which feels kind of low, honestly, among hitters, according to projections. Acuna is the 5th best hitter, though, and Buxton's top 42. And then he also, with those 5 top 50 hitters, has 3 top 30 SPs. Kirby, number 16. Rasmussen, I was surprised to see he was in the top 30 by a projection. I feel like when you factor in not going deep in starts, I thought it might not like it, but it has him. ATC does as the 28th best starter, and Skubal obviously is the best starter. And then he also has, even though he's showing as a terrible keeper, Duran's a really good closer. So he's got not just red, but some blue chippers too. He can't really add to it, but he's got a lot of stuff. I feel pretty good about where he's at. I think it's a pretty good turnaround for Eric because I didn't feel great about him at the end of last year. I like where he is. He'll be a fringe.
Yeah, I'll say like looking at it, he probably should be at the higher end of this tier. I'm going just basically solely on what my spreadsheet says,
But
but
no, I get it because I had him.
between
Go ahead.
like the big thing is Jazz, Devers, Duran, and Amai. The calculator really just undervalues, I think. $38 Jazz, $39 Devers, $3 Amai, and $12 Duran. That's just not right. All of
Raiders
them
is a
are,
minus eight too.
yeah.
It has Duran and Kenley both as minus 20 each. So his surplus value, like it says for me, he has $64 of total surplus, which is, I think it had him initially for me at 10 or 11. No, it had him at 12. Uh, but when I factor in that I wouldn't rank those relievers that way, I know everybody's got relievers we can argue that about, but he has two of them who are negative 40 on his surplus. And then also, I moved him up as I was looking more at it. And again, the point I made before we started is I don't feel great about more than one or two people leaving the auction. So I think they got their money's worth as far as what these players at the top end go for. So I know he has no money going in; he's kind of screwed there. But I think a lot, like at least half the people with significant money are going to leave feeling kind of screwed too. They're either going to not get a guy who's very good, or if they do, they're going to pay more than they probably should have to, and then they're going to have bad surplus value from that too. I don't think the auction budget's worth anywhere near what it probably says it is. Like I know in Raymond's calculations, he has it treated far more valuably than I do.
Yeah. No, I fully agree. He should be up, but I'm not going to move him.
You could put him all the way at four like Kyle because I didn't even do that.
I could put him six.
Yeah, that's where I have it. Nice.
Yeah, I'd have him six.
And I'm willing to meet you in the middle. You want to put it like seven or eight and just meet in the middle, have the same rank?
I'll put him 5.5.
I'll put him 5.5 as well.
Okay.
We've got 3 minutes, it says. Do you want to try to start one or do you want to just call it an ad and come back?
I think we can start on Jack, who I
Yeah.
have as my number nine,
You got Jack
uh,
Newton. Let's bang it out.
which Raymond has him at four.
Wow. Range on Jack too. Well, you're going to love this thing because I have him at 12 and Kyle has him at 11.
And what's the blurb for
The
11?
blurb for Jack is spend aggressively on true elites, not middling trash that belongs in a Jawa scrap heap. In Skeens plus cheap quality core could rocket Jack to top five. Credits decide destiny. Choose wisely or end up like Londo after Cloud City.
Lando Norris.
So Kyle is warning you, Jack. You don't want to end up like Lando. Griffin, you don't think
Um,
he's going to though. You have him. We're at 10 or wait 9. This
I
is
have
9.
him nine, right? Yeah,
Yeah. So again, he's 9. You said Raymond has him 4.
yeah,
So he's 4 9. For me, 12, and for Kyle, 11. So another just huge discrepancy here.
yeah. I mean, I move Eric up, put him at 10, put Jack at 10, but so we're kind of close. It's like maybe the most top-heavy team in the sense that it's Skeens and some other stuff.
I mean, he's a great foil for Kyle. The reason I have Kyle one spot over Jack at 11 is because if Jack went in there and bought Judge and Ramirez for $200, they basically are in the same place. I mean, Skeens is better than Yamamoto. Kyle's got some other better hitters still. But it's sort of like because Jack has, I think, the most per dollar spot or close to it. Yeah, 15.5 per spot he can afford to spend. So Jack, like New Nick and a few of the other teams I've already named, needs to be the guy who gets Soto, needs to be the guy who gets Lindor or Trey Turner. Like, and if he doesn't with that much money, if like New Nick and Jack don't both get one of those top few guys, like suddenly you're gonna have to spend $60 to lock up like the 70th best hitter. So he feels kind of like Kyle. I just assume he can't get two guys as good as like Judge and Ramirez, and he'll probably end up having to get negative value by buying guys like Devers or lower end players even, but paying $20 more than he should because they're just who's out there. Uh, I eventually had Jack up at 8 just because I think his core guys like Skeens is arguably the most valuable keeper in the whole league, and I love that. But it's a tough situation to not have many significant surpluses hitting wise out there, and then not enough blue chip guys to buy for close to cost. So I've said about a couple other guys. If he goes out and gets a couple of the big guys and doesn't have to pay out the ass for it, Jack could easily be a guy I'm saying is going to be much higher. And it goes without saying too. I mean, say going into this, but just like I have Jack 12, I'm not saying Jack will finish 12th. I didn't say Brad would finish 13th. You're not saying New Nick's definitely finishing 14th. Kyle's not finishing 13th. We don't say that. We're just saying the situation we like.
I don't want to blow up his spot too much either, but looking at last year, I feel like he's not going to go after the high end guys
We'll pay a
just
lot for Brian
because,
Reynolds.
I mean, it worked out last year
It did.
in the end.
Well, he's a great in-season player. Jack, we know
Yeah.
from more than 5 years of sample now, is a good in-season player.
But last year he got $21 Eugenio Suarez,
Yeah,
$40 Bow, which at the time I think we thought was an overpay, but I think in hindsight was fine.
it was. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, we're about to
$10.
let's come back to it in one sec.
Cool.
Let's get a break.
Yeah, I didn't approve it.
Well, it's approved now. We're back. Thank you, Griff, for bringing us back on the airwaves. All right.
All right. So Jack,
So we were, I think, saying we see Jack similarly, even though we have him pretty far apart. I was explaining why I slightly prefer if I had to pick a Jack build versus a Kyle build, even though we have a lot of criticisms of Kyle's build, Kyle the Jack. But who knows? There's no for sure right answer there. Do you have anything else you want to add on him?
yeah, I mean I kind of finished my thought about how he's one of my two nemesis in the draft with like money. So I feel like the fact that he made the joke about buying Soto and then logging out, and the fact that last year he spent his money like on a lot of guys, I think he's smoke screening. So we'll see. Too
Yeah,
many unknowns.
when you have close to 16 bucks a roster spot to spend, and he actually, again, I think when I ran this just purely off calculation stuff there, I had him close to like you said. Raymond had him where at 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have him. I think I had him at 5 because as far as just surplus value currently goes, he's not really making any bad keeps. It has Vaughn and Yaz being negative, but like for only keeping 11 players, it has him having $84 of total surplus. And I mean, half of that is just schemes because schemes is so valuable, but he's got a lot of like surprisingly valuable guys. There's a huge projected surplus on Moniak, Laureano, and Herrera, all three of them. And I like all three of those players, but I was surprised to see how much it loves them in the projections.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
was gonna say with Moniak being a $20 player almost is surprising,
exactly.
but
Like, so Jack just buys on average 15 Moniacs to fill his roster out. That'd be pretty good.
it'll be good.
I wouldn't like it, but the projections would have him high. But all right, so that was
Yeah.
your remind me 9, 10.
Yeah, that's my ninth. So at
Okay.
8, I have Sparky Markey.
Oh, dude, twins. I have Mark 8th. Nice.
Raymond has him ninth.
Kyle has him 6. So Kyle is, if those of you are keeping score at home, I'll post all 4 of our lists after this, probably whenever it posts. But I think Kyle on like all but 1 or 2 of the guys we've gone over so far is the high guy. He was the highest on himself. He was the highest on Eric. He was the highest on Mark. He was the highest, I think, on, see, the highest on Brad.
Well, we know he's gonna be low on Roman. He's gonna be low on me
Well,
and
no,
low
he's gonna
on
be the highest
Charlie.
on
He's
you.
gonna be low on Charlie.
He's gonna
It's
be
gonna
the
be those
highest on
three.
you too. He's the highest on everybody.
Oh
Kyle loves
yeah.
everyone.
In the past, he has loved me, so it'll be interesting.
But yeah, okay. So, like you said, I have him also at 8. Let me read you Kyle's blurb about him and why he actually should be 6. Kurtz plus Schwarber equals blue chip core, shines brighter than 2 suns. Walker and Ramos questionable keeps. Jury's still out whether they are assets or Jawa balls. Hitting otherwise lethal. Chase Burns could ascend to top 10 SP.
Was that before or after he was announced? Like
He might not
he's
make
he,
it. Yeah.
is he making it now? He's making it
I
now,
think
right?
he is making it. Even the day that report came out, I saw someone else contradict it. So I would guess he's in there, especially with the injuries. Uh, but he's probably somewhere between the ends of not making the rotation and top 10 starter too. There's probably a middle there he'll hit
I think so.
if I were to guess. But what made you put him 8th, which is exactly where he should be because that's also where I have him. Good job.
The big thing that made me put him eighth was my spreadsheet. Um, but I mean, overall, it's guys like, you have Schwarber, you got your big bopper. Um, Outside of that, I don't know. Like Abrams is good,
Kurtz.
right?
Kurtz is
Yeah,
arguably the most
Kurtz is pretty
valuable
good.
hitter. That might be the most surplus any hitter has.
Yeah. I mean, it's too like in my defense, I was hoping maybe he still didn't have a profile picture for why I missed him, but yeah, that's a pretty big one.
No,
Um,
you're good. You probably just scroll quickly. You're fine.
and then two actually top pitchers, Christopher Sanchez, Joe Ryan.
Yeah, the
Um,
projections have Sonny Gray as the 21st most valuable starter, which I would probably be under that personally. But even if they're just sort of directionally correct, you have three top 21 starters, and then the problem is though with the hitters, he has a lot of guys being kept. Surprisingly, they're pretty low on Abrams. I thought Abrams was around top 50 keeper for hitters, but it says he's not even in the top 60. So his only two top 50 hitters are just Schwarber and Kurtz, albeit those are two top 21s. So that's pretty helpful.
I don't have it up, but I feel like with Steer it had him like minus $10 or something crazy.
I think it's more
That's
than
Steer
that.
like super
No,
negative.
no, I have it actually in front of me because I wrote it down too. I took note of it. Steer is just like those closers for Eric, negative 20 of surplus, and he's going outside the top 300.
And his cost is $16.
Dude, get
So
him.
it has him like below
But Mark understands. Mark understands though what I've been saying about how hard it would be to get anybody in the auction because of all the money. So he
I
is
mean,
intentionally paying a lot to lock up his best players.
I think Steer is good though.
No, I agree. I mean,
Um,
the thing is, seeing someone be worth negative 20 of surplus who's not a closer and we just know it's broken on like Steer, I might not have kept Steer. Maybe I would have. I'm not sure. I probably would have not personally, but you could explain pretty clearly he ends up making it worthwhile. And the thing is, too, if he doesn't, Mark's not going to play him all year to get negative 20 bucks of value accumulated. Like, he just won't be someone who Mark plays.
and he looks like someone who gains eligibility pretty quick.
He used to have, I
Steers in
think,
the
third,
past.
first, and outfield, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh,
between Sal Stewart, Noelvi Marte, Suarez, and him, they're going to all probably have to move around some. But
yeah. So it's a good team.
yeah, and he's got close to 10 bucks a spot to spend. Uh, the pitching is the big thing, though. I mean, he has arguably one of the best big threes of anybody because Chris Sanchez has become like the consensus number five or so starter. And then, like you named the other ones, Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray is pretty highly ranked. He's got a good pitching situation going on. And I feel like I've been saying about everybody because he's only got two top 50 hitters roughly. But if he can buy one top 75 hitter even to complement those guys and then clean it up with some $1 to $5 players, I could really be happy with this team.
yeah, I'm kind of one thing I'm glad he kept Sonny Gray because I was like, I don't know if I like Sonny Gray or not. I have no idea what I'd want to spend on him, so I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah. And you probably feel the same way about Spencer Steer, right?
Well, no, I don't think I was gonna draft Spencer Steer.
What about Christian Walker? You were probably excited about that.
Nah, not really. I love Dylan Cruz. I love
Yeah.
Dylan Cruz.
Yeah. Cruz is one where I think it's like right on what it thinks he's worth, basically. I was
That's one of
surprised
the
to see. Maybe I've already buried it because I told you Abrams isn't ranked in the top projections as a top 60 hitter. What do you think Abrams' surplus value is
is it like
with all the
minus
keepers in there?
is it -4?
It's just dead even, but to
Yeah.
me, he still feels like a value. Like he's someone I would have gladly traded Mark for. I think that's just artificially low.
Yeah, I mean ADP 67. He would easily
Yeah.
go for more than that.
And that's with like
Um,
two catchers and closers being out the wazoo. Like it's silly.
I touched on it. I'm kind of glad he saved me from another nightmare. I could just see in the post draft pod, you giving me a hard time for spending $24 on Dylan Cruz. Like, you don't need that.
Well,
So,
no, you especially don't.
but
But also, like I feel like I've said for most of these teams.
that's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, you might have to because the top like 10 hitters will go for more than they should, and then no one's got good hitters available.
Well, at least Dylan Cruz isn't available for me to
Yeah, he's
make
not
that
there to tempt
mistake.
you. You got to make that meme where it's the guys trying to look away from the whore, like pulling her dress up. And it's like Griff looking at Soto and Lindor, Dylan Cruz for 28 bucks.
Man, he could be so good.
He might be.
Um,
But all right, so that was
all right.
both of our eights. Nice job. Let's try to stay on the exact same page. Who did you have at seven?
At 7, I have Charlie.
Oh, we're so close. I have Charlie at nine,
Raymond has him eighth.
and Kyle has him 12. His nemesis is 12th for him.
We
So
knew that.
me and Raymond are kind of in lockstep. Kyle does not like him though. Basically, just switch Charlie and Kyle, and we kind of are all on the same page though.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Himself like 6 spots higher than us.
I've always considered him interchangeable in most situations, so
Charlie's just what Kyle's going to be in like 8 years.
8, yeah.
So let me tell you about Charlie in the opinion of Kyle. Decent pitching. Colt Emerson, stretch keeper. More like a stretch of the imagination. Mid-tier bore. Why try to be Ariel Cohen when he is constantly jacking into Princess Leia posters?
Got to get that dig on Ariel Cohen.
Kyle's burning everybody's ships all at once there. All of Kyle's nemesis has got cooked there.
Man, I hope Ariel Cohen isn't watching this.
Who do you think's
Start a
more
feud.
angry about that, Charlie or Ariel?
Um, I don't think Charlie pays Kyle any mind. So
Yeah,
probably Ariel.
probably Ariel. You know, he's watching, tuning in. He's worried we're gonna take his FWSA award.
He doesn't seem like the most thick-skinned
Yeah, he's just
expert.
regular thick.
Classic Ariel.
But okay, so you had him one spot. No, I guess you had him seventh. I had him ninth. So you had him two spots over me. You said Raymond had him at eight.
Yeah, yep.
You mean Raymond are all one apart. Kyle's a little bit lower. But why did you, I guess, decide you were the highest on him?
All because of my spreadsheet.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look, it's really four just well, it's three very solid pitchers and Luzardo as kind of a high upside. Webb, Valdez, Gausman are like, I mean, I don't know the whole list, but those are three of probably the most steady Eddie kind of
Yeah.
pitcher. And you kind of get every tier. You get like a top 40 ADP guy in Webb. You have like top 80 in Valdez, kind of 120-ish in Gausman. So just very
Luzardo's really
stable.
risen as far as like ADP. I think Luzardo's going as a top 12 starter now.
You have him 70th overall, it looks
And the
like.
projections love him too. I mean, Charlie, I think, has the most top 30 starters of everybody. Webb is ranked sixth by ATC projections. Luzardo 13th, Framber 14th, and then Gossman 24th.
When then you have Carlos Estevez, feels like another year of where every expert hates him and he goes out and just keeps the job and shoves and is fine.
Yeah. And then the offense isn't bad either. I mean, Charlie, I could definitely make a case for being even higher because top 50 hitters he's got. He has no one in the top 35. PCA is 35. Merrill is 39th. Naylor 47. Bellinger 48. So I feel like in previous years I've dinged Charlie for not having any real blue chip guys, but I would personally have PCA higher than 35th. I'd probably also have Merrill higher than 40. Uh, and Naylor just comes down to does he steal or not. Bellinger around 45, 50 feels right. And that's a pretty good top four hitters. Charlie also has more than $11 a spot to spend on his spot on 12 spots. So he's not done. He'll get, hopefully for him, at least one more guy close to those hitters and some supporting cast.
They also say like I know you and Kyle always kind of rag on teams that have like too many of the mid-tier guys,
All the
but
24
like
all Dylan Cruzes.
yeah, but these guys are like solidly above that. Like
Yeah,
these
no.
are
I think we
like
were going to him in previous years because he had a bunch of like Alec Bohms, and now he has like having a team full of like Cody Bellingers is super solid. Like, do that. Josh Naylor's do that for sure. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean there's five really solid hitters there, and Augustine as a sixth is like
Yeah.
so it's a good team. It's
Yeah, it is.
super solid.
It's got a lot of really solid players. I initially had him at eight, bumped him one for Sparky just because Sparky had some blue chip guys at top. Similar pitching situation, but Charlie's deeper, so I could definitely see switching them.
I think this year he'll overperform. I think last year underperformed. I think this year,
He's like an odd year, even year team.
yeah.
Well, I
And
don't
Jack,
know. He's currently jacking it to Princess Leia and Ariel Cohen. So actually, I'm not sure. Hold on.
see, I got a little nervous because I
Sorry,
thought
sorry.
you.
Ariel Cohen's jacking it. Charlie wasn't jacking it.
Oh, I got worried. I thought you got my like browser history.
I think from context. Now, I think you're safe. Kyle didn't out you there, but we haven't read your blurb yet, so he might out you there. But all right, so you had Charlie. That was seven.
That was six. Oh no, that was seven. That was seven. Yep,
You just moved
Charlie
up full
seven.
time. We're so excited about Charlie.
Man, yeah, I'm saying it. He's gonna finish ahead of Jack this year
Okay, Jack, you've been called out
by Charlie, not me. All
by
right,
who's number six?
number six, I got Roman,
Nice. I have Roman at seven, so we're pretty much unlocked up there.
and Raymond also has him seven.
Kyle has him 13th. So Kyle says get fucked, Roman. What he
He'll probably
actually
be
says
right.
though is roster looks better than it will perform. Do not want it. Stretch keeps Made, Henderson, Benj, Crawford, Otto Lopez, maybe Bybee. Overreach invites collapse. Chaos leaves the force forever unbalanced as Rome once again falls.
So I disagree pretty heavily with some of that.
Say it again.
Like, I disagree pretty heavily with some of that. Um,
Yeah, I don't think Rome's necessarily fallen yet. I mean, Rome has been, I guess, kind of fallen for a few years now, but it's no more fallen than
Yeah,
it was before the day started.
this is when it'll rebuild. That happened, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Could,
but like I don't think Carson Bench is like a stretch at all. I don't think Otto Lopez is a stretch at all.
no, Otto has surplus value, I think.
And I think in general, I do think we keep too many questionable prospects. But I think Jesus Mate might be like this year's he's 18, but he would be the one in that tier where it's like, okay, I can see that. He's not last year's Carson Williams or that kind of guy.
Yeah, I
He's
think
gonna make the team this year, but
he's probably somebody who's in the top five-ish guys to have in fantasy prospects. Like Made's just got so much upside. He could end up being somebody who's you're not going to want to hold it all before the year ends, but he could also end up being someone who comes up in September or something because he's been so good all year and he's just so young, he's ready to roll. I don't think it's that bad. I probably personally wouldn't have,
yeah, I
but
think it's like 90% chance he goes for that or less. I mean, there's no way he goes for seven, but it's
yeah.
not terrible.
But I mean, Roman, I think also is being sold short a little bit by being ranked as low as Kyle has him personally, just because he's got three top 50 hitters. Vinny P is number 50 exactly by the projections for ATC, but then he has two legitimate blue chippers with Tatis and Corbin Carroll. And then for us, for pitching, he's kind of set. I don't love every single player he kept on hitting and pitching, but Wu is the number fourth pitcher by ATC projections. Peralta is number 20. Woodruff is number 25, which is surprising to me he's that high. I don't know if I'd have him that high, but even if you have him as like the 35th, that's still someone who's useful to have. And then I was really surprised just because they really hate Yuri Perez and Tanner Bybee. Neither of them's in that. Yuri, especially, I would have in there. I know he's getting drafted way higher than that. There's just so much upside. So if you just want to switch Yuri and Woodruff in your mind for your ranks, make the other 125 and the other 135. Either way that you slice it, Roman doesn't have a ton of value on some of those guys, but he's got pretty deep pitching with a legitimate ace and Woo. And he still has couple blue chip hitters, a couple other guys like Carson or Carter Jensen. I probably wouldn't have kept. Again, there's plenty of guys like that you would want to. Stowers, I didn't name because he's not in the blue chip category, but he's a legitimately significant surplus offensively too, and he'll have over $11 to spend. It's only on 10 spots, so he's probably going to be in the position some of the other guys have been in where you probably can't afford to buy the top two or three guys, but if you can find a way to get the 30th hitter out there, like if you can find a way to get like Bryce Harper, like we're talking about from Miz maybe, get him back and pay him a little bit less than he's going to make this year, 4 years, somewhere around that, it's definitely worth exploring. It would make you a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have thrown back Jensen, like you said, probably Bybee, probably Made. But other than that, like, I think he made a good decision to throw back O'Neal Cruz, who would have been
Yeah,
37.
I agree. I thought Cruz was close to at value. I probably would have kept Cruz over some of the other guys we just named, but I think it's fine to throw him back.
Yeah, I mean,
Truthfully, you'd probably get him back to the same price, and now you have the ability to try to get someone bigger if you want that first.
yeah, and I mean, I think there's a good chance he goes for under 37. Just because, like, if, like, I mean, maybe I'm thinking too much as me, but like, if you're a team that really, really wants to go for it, he's too risky, I feel like.
He just
Like,
has such a wide range of outcomes. I
I feel
would,
like he's great if you're a Roman and like in the middle, kind of.
yeah.
If you're a
Well,
middle team, he's great.
yeah. If you're the Roman, we think he'll be like 6 or 7. Yeah, but if you're Kyle's Roman, who is again 13th, that's funny how Kyle's just grown into Charlie Brown already. He hasn't met the bottom. And remind me, I'm sorry, where did you say Raymond had him?
Raymond had him, I don't think, seventh.
Okay, so me and
So
Raymond
that's
both
tied
have
with
him
you, right?
7. You have him 6, and then Kyle has him down 13. It's a shame Kyle's not here because Kyle has probably been more different than not that you mean Raymond are in lockstep, but I feel like in general the three of us are closer than Kyle's been to us.
No, for sure. Um, Technically, I would have him move down a spot because I would put Eric over him, but I'm not.
Oh, nice. So if you would have
Um,
Eric's, or I guess you'd have Eric 5 then, because I have Eric 6 and Roman 7.
yeah, I think I would put Eric sixth,
Look at us group thinking ourselves into this. We have like the same ranks now. That's how you know
and
we're on the same mind meld. We
I
also
would put
probably have the
him.
exact same spreadsheets. That probably helps.
Yeah, thank you, Raymond, for making it.
Oh no, I
Um,
didn't use that, but it's
oh,
close to what he used anyway.
all right.
Oh, sorry, we're wasting time just glossing Raymond because we love him so much. Who do you have as your fifth best team?
At number five, I have Zach.
Dude, me too.
And so does Raymond.
Kyle has him at 10. So you, me, and Raymond just become the same person the last few teams, and Kyle is not interested.
Man, he really would have made for more interesting
Yeah.
content.
The one time I do these without Kyle, he's on here when he has the most controversial ranks. But anyway, he did, like I said, give us some notes. Kyle says Wit plus Ellie is devastating 1-2 punch that hits harder than a thermal detonator. Soderstrom breakout continues. Pitching is the weak hyperdrive leaking coolant. Better to build arms in auction than chase bats like a desperate scavenger. So don't chase like a scavenger, Zach. Good job. But also your 10th.
Good work, sucker.
Imagine if he was desperate.
Um,
So why do you have him fifth, like me and Raymond both?
because of my spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Imagine if he still had Hunter Green. That really sucks. I love Hunter Green.
Yeah, he
Um,
could have truly, I think I mentioned it when we started, have uh, Zach is the best of my not top four tier. And he might have been in that, honestly, if he had Hunter Green as still being, and Hunter Green had no injury situation he came across this year.
yeah. For Zach, I mean, I do have Zach at the top of this tier, I think. I think there's a tier between him and the next, but I have him at the top of
Yeah.
that mid tier. Um,
Same with
I mean,
Schwalbach, by the way. He got screwed with Schwalbach like a month ago.
although when he got him, well, I guess he got him when he was shut down last year,
Yeah,
right?
he
Because
got
of
him,
him
but
for
he was
Pepio.
expecting him to be ready going into next year.
Yeah. So no, that does stink
Would you
too.
have kept him like Zach's keeping him?
I don't think so,
Yeah, it's
but
tough.
I
I don't
do
think
think
I would have either.
that's close to where he would have gone though.
Yeah, it
Like,
just depends if he gets nominated in the beginning when we all have too much money. Or
because
actually, I
B
don't know if we're going to get him nominated towards the end either, though, just because people are going to have money at the end too. He probably would have gone for what, definitely more than like five.
he might have gone for more now that I think about it, because I think Bieber went for 11, and I think he was known to be out just as long or longer. And I think Schwellenbach has more upside. So I do think I think that is a fine keeper actually
Yeah,
in
no,
the
I
tier,
think it's defensible. I just probably personally wouldn't have.
in the sense that like at the high end maybe he goes for 13, but low
But it's
end
also more
you
that I
could pick
wouldn't have
him.
probably just because I think you, me, and Raymond all kind of agree. It seems like that Zach is a contender, or at least on the fringes of it. And if I was going for it, I probably wouldn't want to carry that. And if you like him, you can try to get him back. But like you just said, he might have gone for more, so there's no need to critique it too much.
Yeah. I mean I like because it looks like a lot of the teams I try to build where you he has two high end guys and then a lot of guys who are kind of in that 100 to 150 range, but still have value.
Yeah.
'Cause I would say Soderstrom, Hernandez, Harris, Bush, um, and Torque is kind of a stretch, but maybe even Baldwin too. They're all just like that solid middle group of
Do you know who his third best hitter by projections is? It's not someone you've named yet. Teoscar.
what? Oh no, I said Hernandez.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. I didn't know
Yeah.
you said that. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Whit
they
Nelly is
love.
legitimately blue chip, though.
Yeah, I know the projections love Teoscar.
They do. He's just so steady and he's consistent most years, so it's going to probably be that way. But also, I mean, good lineup. Even if he falls off some more, he's going to probably still be a useful player. It also, I
Yeah,
mean, it had him initially below Roman and a few other teams in the area that we got him in here for me. I moved him up there because I think, like most people, he's penalized for the Munoz being a closer who's paying more than the minimum for a surplus value. He's also being penalized more than I think it's worth. I know they're always going to be bearish on rookies, but it thinks Weatherholt is worth negative $4. Or sorry, he's a $4 negative surplus value, is what it says. So Zach is basically losing $10 of surplus from that, which is just insane. Like Weatherholt's going to make the team, and either he sucks in the first month and you're gone, or he's good and he ends up being a difference maker. Uh, and then he's getting a significant ding for Schwellenbach being worth negative 14, since he's, or pardon me, a $14 negative surplus there because he's keeping him for 11 and thinks he's worth negative 3. Anyway, just Witt, Ellie, huge. You just named, there's like six guys in the middle, like top 100-ish players. Uh, if a few of them get better, he's in a really good spot. If they all stay the same, he's still in a like fringe money spot, I think. And he's got basically on the slightly higher end for spot. I mean, he only has to fill, excuse me, 11 spots, but he has 11, a little over $11 a spot to spend. So he can also be a guy. That's why I think these top like 10 hitters are going to be stupid in the auction, and the top 10 pitchers too, because There's all but like four or five teams who can go up to like $80 max bid. And I don't think many guys are going to want to not have it happen, where they get someone they at least are sort of excited about, even if they don't overpay. So if he comes out with one more big guy or just one more red chip, if not blue chip guy, he's going to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, maybe he's a good Bregman guy. He needs a third baseman, but
Yeah, Raymond definitely would make some
um,
sense.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of ways he can go. Um, yeah, I think I had him like third last year, and he kind of disappointed. But this is your year, Zach.
The injuries were tough for him last year. And we were mentioning all the hitters, but the pitching isn't in like in a bad spot either. I mean, obviously we both think sort of having where we do. I think Reagan's is probably better than the 17th starter. That's what ATC says he is, but fine, he's the 17th starter. You still have Pavetta at number 22, it thinks, and then it doesn't factor in Munoz at all, but Munoz is legitimately super valuable.
Yeah, I mean, you look there, and it's like, okay, that could win you the league, or that could totally implode on you.
It
Those
just sucks
three.
because again, if he still had Hunter Green and Schwellenbach not dead, like then suddenly you have like one of the top three or four pitching staffs and one of the best offenses with two of the best players in it. Like it's crazy. But even so, we think Zach's a contender.
All
So you're
right.
not here in the middle of just been the same guy, Griff. Who do you have it for?
Number four, starting my top tier, I have
Same.
Raymond,
Dude, same. We
and
don't call him Foreman for nothing.
is that what you call him?
I do now.
Um, and
Kyle has
Raymond has himself third.
Kyle has him third. Raymond has the least deviation. I think, or I guess New Nick was 14, 14, 14, and 13. But Raymond and New Nick are like the same guy as far as we all agree on them.
We've always said that.
So it's funny you and I having the fourth best team and we're the low guys on him though, comparatively. Raymond from Kyle. Kyle says Otani plus Connor Griffin plus strong arm equals bright side of the force. Giancarlo Stanton equals dark side scary injury vortex waiting to explode. Due to his elbow injury, Stanton cannot open bags of chips, but I'm sure that will bode well for his hitting performance this year.
Yeah. I mean, that is crazy that he can't open chips, but
I'm sure though if he's good, Raymond will open them for him.
no, I didn't know this. Did you know Stanton is outfield eligible? I just assumed he was util,
I'm surprised by that.
and I'm a closeted Yankees fan, and I didn't know that.
Did he play more in the outfield last year than DH? It
He
must be.
had five in left and 15 in right, so combine them and he qualifies.
Wow, he hit it then. Good. I like Stanton as a keeper at $6 anyway. I think he's a fine keep there, and it definitely more so if he has outfield. What were your
Yeah.
overall thoughts on Raymond though? Since we both have him at four and we're agreeing.
Another team with great pitching staff. Crochet, McLean, Rogers, Mizorowski. Pagan, I think, is a good closer. I think he should have that job.
Yeah,
And then, I mean, obviously you have Otani, Riley, and good hitters around him. And I think, does he have the fourth most money? He's up there in terms of money too, so
yeah. He's got
you get both.
$157 for 12 spots. He has $13.1 a spot to spend, so he's on. I think he's either third or fourth highest, and he's close to the top people in that. Roman's at 11.1 to spend. Zach's at 11.1 to spend. We haven't gotten to you yet, but you're at 15.3 to spend per spot. Charlie's 11.1 to spend per spot. Jack is 15.5 to spend per spot. And New Nick is 16.8 to spend per spot. So we have that's again the issue I feel like we're gonna have with these guys at the top who are there's a lot of guys, unless a lot of you are just out on the best players. I don't see how anybody could be.
I
But
think you
anyway,
can punt
back
that.
to Raymond. I agree with you. His pitching staff is good. I was surprised to see I know McLean's barely pitched in the big league, so he's currently the 37th projected starter. I would take the over on that. ADP obviously says the same thing, but even if you're being conservative, I think he's better than that. Crochet is obviously the third best and maybe higher than that if you want to put him over Steams or even Scooble. I mean, you could totally argue it. He strikes out so many guys and he was a horse last year. Uh, I was surprised though, because I agree with you that I like Rogers more than what he's at by a good bit. And I also feel like Mizorowski is kind of polarizing, but it has them as both being less than $5 of surplus, just slight surplus. Rogers is going to get dinged by a projection system too, just because he's been hurt a bunch and not good 2 years ago. So I have no idea what to make of that. And he gets dinged too for Pagan just being an okay reliever in a closing situation. So it says that's huge negative. So Raymond, of my like you said, top four being its own tier has the lowest in total surplus, but I can make a lot of excuses as to why his surplus should be higher, and I could get him higher. I do think he's a legitimate contender to win, just because Otani's at a huge surplus, Keishel's a huge surplus. I have Dansby as a slight surplus. Barger and Stanton are at slightly values. Langoliers is a pretty big value, $19 it says. Connor Griffin is only $2 in surplus it says, but either he makes a team and is a massive surplus, or if he doesn't and it comes up in a month, he's still a big surplus, I think. It'll be really interesting to see sort of how Raymond goes in the auction.
Yeah, I think last year he got Lindor, right? So
Yeah.
you take a cue from that, he probably goes for another big name.
If you wanted to make a hate
Um,
Raymond argument here, which is not what I'm doing, but again, just the way it sort of broke out, I picked arbitrary numbers again when I made my notes about top 50 hitters and top 30 starters to try to pick sort of a range for that. He only has two top 50 projected hitters and only one top 30 SP, which is way lower than the majority of the teams around him. Now, Langoliers just misses at 56. We agree that McLean is more valuable. You could argue for Rogers. You could argue that closer's worth more. Langoliers, again, just misses it. Griffin could end up being like a top 30 player. Wouldn't shock me, but there is risk here, and he's keeping Holiday, which I wouldn't have done, but I get why he did it.
yeah, and you can't forget he does have money, so I mean,
He
who knows
does.
what that's going to be worth? So we'll see.
He does, and more than most of the other guys we've talked about, even though I hope they do just make sure they get a good player or two. I don't think Raymond's going to let it just sit in the middle. I think Raymond will get one of these top 4 or 5 guys.
I do have one bit for this team. I don't have music pulled up, so I'm just gonna sing it.
Yeah.
Doodaloo doodaloo doo. Well, this is Griffin's racial facts of the day. All right, so there've been four players to get um this Irish award called I didn't know they were Irish. One of the players is on his team. One of them was Ryan Mountcastle. One of them was uh I'll think I can't remember. Oh, Mike Trout. Mike Trout was the other.
Oh,
But he also has one player who won the I didn't know they were Irish award. You have three guesses. Can you guess who on his team won the I didn't believe they were Irish award?
Holiday.
Nope.
McLean.
Nope.
Man, McLean feels like an Irish name too.
Well, remember it's I didn't believe they were Irish
Oh,
or
okay.
I didn't know they were Irish was the award.
I'm not guessing him, but if you tell me it's Otani, that's going to piss me off.
It's not. That doesn't count because
Dansby.
nope, it's Giancarlo Stanton.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's
Why?
like apparently he's Irish and the Puerto Rican is like from his maternal grandmother or something. Like apparently he's at least half Irish.
Half?
Yeah, he's pretty Irish apparently.
So he's not just like Irish, he's like Irish Irish.
I saw someone joke that his name is John Carl O'Stanton,
I
with
like
the
that.
O.
We should call
Yeah.
him that. And
Um,
we're just after St. Patrick's Day here, so let's get in the spirit for him.
little big leprechaun.
That's a fun bit. Thank
Yeah.
you for doing that one there.
Of course, I don't know if we'll continue Griffin's racial facts, but
Tell us some racial facts about your third team.
let's see.
What race is this owner?
Third, Brendan. I can't assume. I'm too woke for that.
Oh, okay. You,
Um,
you assumed he wasn't Irish for Stanton, so
no, that's other people assume that.
I see.
Um, so yeah, Brendan for me is third.
Brendan is my third too. You and I are very similar in the top half here.
Raymond has him sixth.
Okay, so we break up with him there, and Kyle has him as the top team. So Brendan has a pretty big discrepancy, actually. He's first for Kyle, third for each of us, and sixth for Raymond. So I wish we had Kyle and Raymond here instead of you and me who just agree on everything. It sucks for us.
Yeah.
Uh, Star Wars Kyle says for Brendan, zero weaknesses. The force balanced empire with money to spend. Unassailable. Supreme. Basically cheating at life. The rest of us are just NPC stormtroopers. And that is how I feel sometimes in this league the last couple of years. Brendan's just a monster.
I know he's so good. If he wins again, I'm gonna bleep. Um,
Yeah, dude, same.
so just to touch on Raymond's ranking at six for him, I think Raymond. I talked to him about like what his issue with his methodology was, and I feel like in hindsight he would probably agree with that. Um,
Well, I think, even though I mentally was trying to avoid dinging guys too much for negative surplus values. I think him just making them all zero in his analysis also doesn't work because some are truly negative and some are like differently negative because we know that at the top end they'll go for more or they're relievers. Like I think you can kind of individually do it. And Brendan is someone who doesn't really have negative keepers. I think he has one guy who's not a surplus, it says. So someone who doesn't get mentally helped by Raymond's exercise is going to be dinged comparatively, I think. That's probably why he has him lower than we do.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know how it's probably boring radio to go over Raymond's methodology. So I'll just leave that. Um,
No, you're good. I was just trying to speculate why
yeah.
I think he has him lower than me.
Yeah. I think his analysis was just bunk.
He's also just
Well,
not smart. Like
yeah. Nah, just kidding.
he's smart enough to be
Um,
the fourth best team in the league, but he's not smart.
yeah, I mean, looking at Brendan's team, like you have one of the best pitching staffs. You have one, two, three, four, five legitimate top hitters between Alvarez, Tucker, Langford, Churio, and Henderson.
He has five top 30 bats, which is by far the best top 30.
You have William Contreras, who's in catcher one or catcher two argument, right?
He's the
Like he's
59
right in
count
there.
hitter. So that's just missing my top 50 cutoff, but noteworthy.
Wilson Contreras solid, and Akamoto, we don't know yet, but he was projected to be like super solid as his carrying thing.
Before
So
anything else, he's already projected a $10 surplus with Okamoto.
yeah, it's a good team. I mean, DeGrom, Fried, Sale, Ray. Ray's kind of a question mark, but I mean, when he's your SP4 and you have those three ahead of him, it's like you're good. Kate Smith is what reliever four.
Yeah.
So
Kate Smith is one of the only relievers, fun fact, who is not ranked as a negative surplus value. He's actually, even though he's not ranked where he should be, he's ranked as a $4 surplus for Brendan. Do you want to guess who is one guy he has on the team that is not a positive surplus is?
um it's either Chris Sale or Wilson Contreras. And I'm gonna go with Wilson Contreras.
No, it is Jacob DeGrom, who's slightly,
Really?
it says he is -2 surplus with inflation added for the keepers. But again, he's basically a top 10 starter right next to it. So you're going to have to pay the same way it's like Machado would go for more than he should. I think it's kind of bunk analysis. Yeah, you hit it pretty well. Brennan's in a really good spot. He's not going to have much money in the auction, so we can't do much to make this better. But five top 50 hitters and five top 31 hitters, actually. And then if you make it top 59, Contreras is 59th ranked. And then DeGrom's the 12th starter, Fried's the 8th starter, Sale's the 7th starter. You have a top five closer. There's not much you have to do to supplement this, and he doesn't really have to anyway. So I'll be curious what he does do to supplement it, but even just as is, and it's close to a fully formed roster, I really like where he's at.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the year he's pretty aggressive. Like you look at those Sale, Fried, DeGrom, they're starting to get to the end of their keeper, being high
Yeah.
30s.
Well, I mean, it's totally possible to make a move once the draft's over. We were talking about the top 30 and top 50 hitters. I mean, he has four of the top 20 overall hitters with Churio, Jordan, Gunnar, and Tucker. Like that is a fifth of the entire league's top 20 bats. He has them, and he has three of the top. He has a fourth, or yeah, a quarter of the top 12 starters. Like if you just add another one or two, like if he gets, let's just say Kyle sells off and he gets Judge and Ramirez, like here we go.
Yeah, maybe like flip Tucker Alvarez and get even more high-end bets somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think,
we've got less than a minute.
yeah.
I don't want to speculate, but I think neither of us has named each other for our top two teams.
Oh yeah. I wonder who's gonna be in the last two then.
Let's come back after the break and find out where me and Griffin ranked each other. We love each other, it seems.
All right. Peace.
See ya. All right, welcome back. And the moment everybody's waiting for in a podcast between me and Griffin, our top two teams in some order are each other. I'm sure you guys watching at home all love this. Griffin, who's your second
Well,
best team?
we've been so in lockstep. I'm sure we can agree on our number two is Bucher.
That's who I have at number two also. But it's
Wait,
interesting
really?
because, yeah, it is. I actually sorry, let's talk through it first because you're the one who said it. Kyle also has me at two. Where did Raymond have me?
He has you too.
Wow, so I am the only person we all
Well,
agree on the exact spot for.
so I will admit, if it wasn't for the fudge factor I added, you would have been my number one.
As far as
Uh,
surplus goes, I'm ahead of you in my own ranks for one. I do think if you wanted to make this into its own tier, we're both not comfortably, but more like Brendan and Raymond have almost the same surplus, and then you and I have close surpluses too. The only reason I'm not ahead of you in my own is I feel like you were going to make, like, if I was going to take over a situation, I do think yours is better. But if you mess up the auction, I'm going to immediately change it. So I don't know if that sounds like a threat, but I think if I had both teams, I would be able to do a better job in the auction with your roster than my own. If you fuck it up, though, I will change my mind.
yeah, that makes sense, and is a big reason why I'm like so nervous for it. Is I have what 198 is my max bid. No, 189. That's wrong. 180 something.
Yeah, you've got
It's
15.
like if I
You've got
turn
over
that into
15 of spots
240,
to spend, which means if you get two studs, basically, like if you leave with Soto and one of Trey, Lindor, Harper, Freeman, Betts, Bichette, you can stay number one. If you do not, I'm probably going to take myself over you after the auction.
yeah. So I will say like when you and Kyle were potting with Brad, like all this talk does have me a little nervous with I have no idea how these top end guys are gonna go. And
But you, I mean, I've said it about Nick and Jack, and I'm not backtracking on it. Really, like four or five of you need to make it work and just get them anyway. But you, arguably more than anybody else, besides maybe the bottom guy like Nick and maybe if it's Jack or whoever, you need to because this is your chance to go for it. You are either the one or the two position going into it, and you just have so much. Like you can take a huge negative surplus here to get the best players, and if you don't win the auction that way or lose the auction by buying negative guys surplus wise, you need to make trades because this is your year potentially, and if not, I'm going to take it from you. And probably Brendan or Kyle or Raymond or Zach or someone like that will too. But
yeah, I will
anyway,
say,
why
I
do you
mean,
have me too? We're talking about me. Why am I second? For all of us. That's funny. All four of us have me as the bridesmaid.
well, I mean, I think it's extra funny since you legitimately are my number one. Just I gave myself points, so I can always be number one.
I am the most
Um,
surplus. I agree with you on that, but I'm not, I think, in the most enviable
well,
situation, which is what I'm ranking. I'm ranking situations going in. I would rather have your budget because if you get Soto
so
and one of the other guys, I think you're ahead of me. And
so
I think
I didn't say what my methodology is, but all I did was I summed up the Fantrax auction calculator for the players you have plus draft budget and just ranked it that way.
I
I
didn't
said,
factor that budget in at all. I just did total surplus, and then I also then manually adjusted it based on positions I'd like to be in myself, and then top 50 hitters and top 30 pitchers. And I do have more both top 30 pitchers and top 50 hitters than you, but you're kind of screwed by that methodology just because you have so many guys in the middle who are better than my guys in the middle. And I think you specifically have like a lot of your guys. Rafael is a good example. Rafaela is not going top like 170. He's not like going like Lawrence Butler. He's going like the 110th ish player,
oh
115th
yeah,
ish player. So I think my friend, my just my personal cutoffs I made for blue chip and red chip guys don't impact you fairly. I think, and I think generally, if I were to take a situation, I would probably take yours. But again, if in 72 hours you don't get studs, I'm going to change my mind because if you don't end up with a couple blue chip guys, so your only real blue chip guy is Caminero on offense.
yeah,
And I don't have
true
anybody as
blue
good as
chip. Yeah,
Caminero, really. I mean, you could say Vlad is. They're pretty close, I think. But then, like, the next, if you look at the next one
Alonso.
after that, I have Rooker, Alonso. Rooker's actually higher in ATC than Alonso is.
Yeah,
But I have like two, three, and four, depending what you think of Springer. I mean, you think Springer is better than any other hitter you have besides Caminero?
I think Springer's close to Ben Rice. I don't know how the
It doesn't have Ben Rice as a top 50 hitter.
true.
It has him as a big surplus, but it has you're only we're jumping around now because we're talking about you more than
Yeah.
me, it seems. But like the only top 50 hitters it says you have by ATC are Mikel missing at 52, but he's basically in it. Pena at 55 just misses, but it has Duran at 46, Seiya at 43, and Caminero is the 12th best hitter. And actually, never mind. It actually likes Vlad more. I didn't realize that. It actually likes Vlad as the eighth best hitter. I'd probably slightly prefer Caminero, make him the same, but they're basically even, although you're getting a better deal than I am. But then it has Rooker for me at 15, Alonso at 23, Springer 38, Roman Anthony at 42, and Eugenio actually at 45. It doesn't have Bryce Terang in the top 50. It's not close, really. I thought he'd be in, but he's not.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I will say you did a really good job with addressing your power. Like this whole off season, I thought you were power weak, and now I'm looking at it and it's like I think you're in a pretty solid spot there.
I feel pretty good power
Um,
wise. I feel pretty good with power and average both. But that's spoiler alert. I'm probably not drafting pitchers in the auction with my limited budget. I have less money than some of. I'm not in the very bottom, but I'm in the bottom third, basically. I'm probably gonna get one guy in the 20-25 range, and then close at dollar days.
just to posture and try to influence people, I do think it's a good idea for your one open hitting position to be catcher. Because I think we briefly talked about it offline, but like I think we undervalue catchers almost more for having catcher. Like Wilson Contreras, for example, is a $12 keeper at first base only. If he was a catcher eligible player, I don't know if he'd be kept for $12. Like
Yeah,
it just seems like having that catcher on you kind of makes you a pariah, and it's like they're so easily replaceable. So I'm sure you can get a cheap Adley, Will Smith, or I forget who the other top catcher is, but there's like three or four really solid ones. I'm sure you'll get for like $7 or whatever.
I couldn't agree more. I traded away Herrera and Augustine both in the final month and a half in all season this year because I think that I think they're both worth it and decent surpluses. But I think probably like you just said, catcher 15 is going to be a buck or two, and it felt like a way to cut costs when I was trying to add more money somewhere else.
Like if you get Logan O'Hoppe for a buck, it's like
Do you know off the
you
top
wouldn't
of
be
your head?
surprised.
I was curious looking through it. Do you know off the top of your head how many teams are keeping more than one catcher?
I think there's only four teams that need catcher,
There are
I
two
thought.
guys keeping more than one catcher. I don't remember who they are off the top of my head, but I
Oh,
think
true.
the other day. But like you said, there's only four guys who need it. So even if I'm getting catcher 15 as the $1 catcher, I'm not that worried. I'll be able to draft it. I
I'm
need
looking
one
now at
utility.
six.
McGonigal might not make the team. McGonigal misses opening day, then I need two hitting spots. But if he makes it, I only need catcher on hitting.
That reminds me. Doodaloo doodaloo doo. I bringing back Griffin's racial trivia.
Yeah, who are my
You
ethnic
also
guys?
have one player on your team who won the I can't believe they're Irish award. Can you guess who on your team won that? And remember, it's I can't believe they're Irish. Like it's an Irish person, but it's
So it's a surprisingly Irish person.
yeah. Basically, it's not Kevin McGonigal because
Yeah, I was gonna say he's obvious. I feel like
yeah,
uh, is
three
Aroldis
guesses.
an Irish?
No,
Now I'm
good
thinking my
guess.
guys just don't look Irish at all to me, and could be like I feel like I can't pick an obvious guy. Like I can't guess like oh maybe Jacob Wilson or Alonso is Irish. I'm gonna say Willie Abreu is Irish.
No,
Lawrence Butler is Irish.
you got it. It was Alonso.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
If I had done me first and then whoever it was, Raymond or Zach, whoever else is the Irish person. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so bad
I
at this trivia.
I know hearing Stanton kind of threw it off, but yeah, I mean, you're a good team. It's
Yeah, I think we'll be battling. I think you, me, Brendan, and Raymond are kind of our own tier. Uh, but someone else is going to crack it again. Last year I had Brad 13 and Brad finished with money. So anyone can do it. And
um
last year I had myself pretty high and I finished like 11th or 12th. So things can go bad in a hurry. I guess
I'm
on
trying to
me.
see
Do you have anything
if I
else
can
you
share my
want to do?
spreadsheet, but I think my laptop is like too slow. Um, let me not really. I mean, we'll talk about your team throughout the year, me, you, Brendan, Raymond. It's like keep coming up. Um, just since I was able to actually do it here. So this is no, that's not it. Sorry. Isn't that great radio?
It's excellent
So
radio.
this is where I have everything. So I guess that's why I kept trying to come back to me is because I actually do have me second. So this is like basically if you add up everyone's players on their team plus draft budget. Let me zoom in. So you can kind of see like where the tiers kind of are. So for people listening, my number one team Bucher has $565 of total value. I have me at 534, Brendan 511, Zink 502, Zach 487, Roman 468, Charlie 456, Spark $452, Stan 445, Eric 430, Brad 408, Misigman 380, Kyle 372, and New Nick 370. So it kind of shows you like I have you a good bit in front of me even. So
Again, I mean, I do too. I don't have that version of doing the numbers. I just have surplus value currently because I feel like trying to add the auction budget to it is kind of difficult to do because I don't think there will be like for someone like you or really anyone buying hopefully a good player, you will not get a good deal. So like in order for me to keep you ahead of me, ironically, you're going to lose value in this because you're going to have to pay 110 or 120 or 130 for Soto, I think. Like he is the true blue chip guy out there. And you're going to have to go head to head with Jack and New Nick and these other guys with a lot of money. And you'll probably look better on the projections here by not getting him, just because he'll probably go for the most and way more than he should. But if you don't, I feel like I have more blue and red chip guys.
yeah, I buy that.
We'll see.
Yeah. I just figured that way everyone can kind of see
I like this
how there
though.
is a
This
yeah.
is this is actually best for me because now if I end up winning, I'll feel like the underdog. But if I lose, I can be like, well, we all said I was number two.
Except for me. I'll be disappointed for you.
I'll be disappointed too.
Um,
But
so I
also
guess
like recency biases. Like again, I've been trending very negatively for years now. That dark magic Brendan has when I just barely edged him out a couple years ago has just spiraled me for years.
it was worth it though.
It was. It definitely flags fly. I'm definitely glad it worked out that way, but it does hurt the last couple years.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Who was since we're done now, I guess. Who was the hardest team for you to rank?
Well, none really since this did it all. But in
I don't
talking,
remember if
clearly
I'm
Eric.
is that just your rankings?
Yeah, that's what I used.
Okay. Mine
Um,
probably weren't that different, even though you probably valued draft budget more than I did. But I did afterwards manually adjust mine based on who I wanted to manage the teams of.
but yeah, talking it through, Eric is my biggest riser. Like I would have him right
I mean,
around where Roman is now.
I had him six.
So probably around six.
I think after the top four,
And that's where I would move him. So
I agree with you about Zach. I would put him over everybody else. But we also had really similar, again, because we've used a similar term. Basically, just it seems like I manually fidgeted more than you did, and then I also care about draft budget less than you do. But otherwise, we had the same exact way of doing it, down to the fact that we use the same calculator to do it too.
yeah.
So it's not shocking to me you and I were the closest together.
I think I was pretty honest too. I in these pre-draft ones, it's just like I don't want anyone to have any idea of what I think about people or so. It's like, oh yeah, Christian Walker's worth 21 bucks.
Yeah,
Make sure you go out and spend that on equivalent guys.
I do think we should appreciate Griffin being my guest here since Kyle couldn't do it tonight, guys, watching this, just because Griffin is, as I've said, and as we pointed out with the budget stuff, someone who needs some cards close to the chest in the auction more than probably the average guy. I know I'm not buying big players, so I can afford to be more open. Griffin's a good sport being my guest here.
Well, that's why I was a bad sport and sent out my auction values that said
Trying to
Soto should
convince
go
them
for
it's
like
great.
80
And
bucks.
you also interestingly with Soto specifically pointed out he's worth whatever it was 78 or whatever before the adjusted rank of like 95. That was
Or no, I thought he was like 78 prior to or after adjustments, wasn't he?
I think the last column has him with adjustments at 90 something, which is whatever number I said after you posted that was the actual number it said for him. I thought you were trying to be slick and convince people to
True.
sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am, but
No, I know,
um,
and I was just playing around back.
but no, it is crazy how low when you do 14 team auction calculator, it's crazy how low. And I totally disagree with most of it. So that's why I want to make it very clear it's way undervalued, guys.
It just means you need to definitely be the
So
guy who buys one of the top three or four, if not, if you really can't get Soto for like if Soto goes for 150, I guess you let him go and just move on. But
yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of later guys I like, so I don't want to bring anyone up off the top of my head, or else she'll be like, "Oh, he loves Andrew
no, no, I got you.
Benintendi."
I just feel like
Um,
myself looking at this because I'm speculating about who I want in the cheap guys too. After basically what you'll be if you get Soto and another guy or two, like I feel like the way to do it, guys, and I'm not just saying it to try to be gamesman-y, is pick out the guys who are rising, pick out the guys who you like better than the projections. Because, for example, like we were talking about with New Nick, Cam Schlittler, I think, is weirdly lowly ranked. I think all the closers are weirdly lowly ranked. I think Cole Reagans is lowly ranked for Zach. Um, Pick guys out in the calculator who you feel like it's not capturing what they actually either are going in the market or what you think they should be, and then make them your notes to come back for at the end. Because probably everybody for the first 20 or 30 total players and most of the top guys hitting and pitching are going to go for more than they should just because they can't not with the amount of money we have. And unlike, I feel like in previous years, there's not this many teams who all have the ability to contend for the top player or two. I feel like this year there's like legitimately, I don't know if a lot of the guys are like 100-ish bucks or 110 bucks in the auction want to do it, but like there are eight, nine teams who could be in on the top guys. So I feel like it's going to be harder than maybe it should be for them to become values. But I think once they go for significant overpays, there'll be a weird middle and then a good back end.
and I have no idea. I have no idea how it's gonna go. I just hope it goes well. You
Well,
know
and
what's
then
funny?
also the other thing I would say is kind of like Griffin
Mhm.
said, I felt like I was power deficient coming into the off season generally trying to contend this year. I think probably you guys should also manually prepare if you're trying to contend. What skills am I low in? Bump those guys up. The guys who are not going to help me in those categories, especially in the middle, just bump them down. Like if you have a ton of power already, or let's just say you have a ton of speed, you don't want to be the guy who buys.
I've been there. Like you get Trey Turner and you have like I think projected 13th in steals. No, I'm projected, yeah, 13th in steals. I have a decent amount of open roster spots, and I have a late steals target anyways, so it's like I probably shouldn't go for high end
Yeah,
30 steal guys who are
I feel
expensive.
like the cheap guy speed's the one you can sort of get, but like exactly. Let's
Yeah,
just say like Griffin thinks he's bad at average. That's not what you're saying you are. But let's just say you feel like you're bad
yeah.
at batting average. Uh, Even though like the 10th best hitter out there is O'Neill Cruz, if Griffin misses the first nine guys, I probably wouldn't overspend on O'Neill Cruz. He's not going to help you. Like I would probably not be looking at that. I would probably have to just manually go down. And ultimately, if the draft is not going your way, because at least one or two of the teams with a lot of money are not going to have the draft go their way, I would then probably just try to amass value and make trades afterwards. Because you're
Yeah.
in a much better spot if you actually get like the 15th or 20th hitter and the 21st hitter for good deals who are keepable beyond the year, trying to sell them to someone who's selling an Aaron Judge or whatever.
Man, I just can't wait.
I'm so excited.
Um,
We're so close to being there.
I realized I made a face when you were saying something, and it's because for some reason Fantrax has me projected for one save hold, but I have three starters and no relievers, so I'm like, where does that come from?
Each of
Um,
your starters thinks getting a save.
Cade Horton, I guess.
He thinks
He'd be
Cade's
the
getting
only
a hold
one.
of it. Or no, I guess
I,
it'll only be one because it would give you an extra point from save holds if it was two. He thinks he's getting one hold.
yeah. Oh yeah. Huh. Yeah, I doubt Evaldi's going to the pen.
I wonder what game he's
Um,
getting his hold.
June 13th.
You got to make sure that he's
Um,
active that day.
but I think one funny thing, I kind of got to get going soon, but
Yeah, no, it's late.
one
And
fun
we're on third one. Let's close out here. What you got?
last funny thing was you keep saying it's 72 hours of the draft. It's
We'll make
48
I have no
hours.
idea. It's like 48, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shows
It's
you
Thursday
don't have
night.
enough money. You're not as excited. I'm gonna be up all night Friday. I
I'm just
won't be able to
excited to have
sleep
rosters be full so I can start making more trades and for the budget to go higher so I can make trades for more guys.
and actually talk baseball,
Yeah, and
not
actually
just
have like a full roster to look at. Projections I can actually run. It's not really fun running. too seriously. Although I do like that no one has less than 10 keepers. Like it's nice to run the projections and have an idea of like where I'll be in these things. I when I was talking about how I was running my own projections for where I want to finish and stuff, I was just using the last 3 years on average what the winning team had and the third place team had. But we actually have some stats you can look at now as far as like where you'll rank among other teams. I wouldn't really trust them personally, but after the draft you can.
Oh yeah.
God, it's so gross looking at that. They look at all the players being kept. I hate that. It was so annoying looking at this earlier.
Wait, what? Are you sharing?
You're sharing. You're sharing Fangraphs' auction calculator.
Oh, am I?
Yes, you have
Oh,
been for like last 10 minutes.
oh. See, I've been looking at your face though. Sorry.
I guess Griffin didn't mean to do that,
Cool.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Thanks for
can't wait
joining me, Griff.
until I can start of course, can't wait to jack it to my roster instead of the Princess Leia.
Well, just Ariel and Charlie will be jerking it to
But
Leia. We'll be jerking it to the fact that we're
oh
48
yeah,
away from draft day.
nice.
All right. Until next time,
All right.
guys. Thanks, Griff. I will
See you
also
guys
post,
Saturday.
once this posts online, I'll post all four of us, you, me, Raymond, and Kyle's power rankings. Please submit yours, you guys. I need to go back, actually. I just realized I didn't go back and check to see who was the most accurate last year. We should do that. I will do that. I
Yeah,
haven't done that yet, but
it
I'll do that.
wasn't me. I had me number
It
one.
definitely wasn't me either. I had me high and I was terrible. And I had Roman higher probably, and I had Brad low. I just was not good.
Inverse us.
Just
All right,
yeah,
man.
fade, buy the Kyle, fade the Nick and Griffin.
That's what they say.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Good seeing you, man.
Love you,
Peace
buddy.
out.